Oh yeah, I'm ready, man.
All right, here we go. Welcome. You're listening to The Best of Investing on Talk 910. I'm your host, Edward Brown. I'm proud to have as my co-host Mark Hanf of Pacific Private Money, one of California's fastest growing mortgage investment firms, and Kathryn Harris, CPA of Parati and Karad. Our phone number is 888-912-1190. Now use that number to answer the trivia questions for 3 vacations given away during each commercial break. That's right, we're giving away 9 vacations during this show. And the vacations are not sponsored by the radio station, but by Lighthouse Resort and Marina, located 1 hour northeast of San Francisco. Vacations are free, with their only request, a $75 cleaning fee to cover the housekeeping expenses. And in honor of Kathryn Harris being on today, the trivia theme is kids' toys.
Oh, I love it.
See, I figured that'd be good. And is it okay, Kramer? Can I take this helmet off now?
Yeah, yes, you can.
Okay, good. I had a motorcycle helmet on.
For the ride
Yeah,
for today's show.
This is a very dangerous show here. That's why I had a motorcycle helmet on. Okay, that was actually more for television. Okay, so Kathryn, you got some exciting stuff to talk about.
I do. I decided, I came across this article. I was like, this one's a fun one to do every several months and see where you rate yourself compared to others. It's an article that says 5 things to do every decade for financial success.
No, you did say every decade.
Every decade.
Not every day or every year, every decade.
So,
okay.
yeah, in theory,
I
you
barely
only
have a plan for the next
Yes.
year, let alone 10 years, and you're saying every decade?
Every decade, but you know what?
Okay.
That means you've got a few years to complete what needs to be done in the 10-year decade in which you are.
All
But I also I'm curious to hear your input. I'll take my input for somebody who has a young family who's starting out, and then I'd love to hear you guys, especially if you with your kids finishing college and
High school.
and where we go.
Yeah.
So for your 20s, build an emergency fund.
Makes
Let's
sense.
see. Pay off your credit card debt.
Absolutely. That's a guaranteed rate of return of, depending upon what your interest rate is on your credit card. Go ahead.
Yes, and you don't say usually when you have an interest rate or rate of return, you have to take into consideration the tax implication, and sometimes that can eat up about 30%, 40% of your return. That one you have a 100% return on.
Yep.
Number 3, take the job you love. Now, did you guys do that in your 20s?
Actually, I did.
You did.
I was very
Great.
fortunate. Yeah, I was very fortunate. I actually did. How
I
about you?
I went to, it was 1982, we were in a recession, and I went to work for the family business, which was not my original plan, and I ended up not leaving for 20 plus years, so I don't know that it
I'm
was.
ball
still
and chain.
here.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I don't know that it was, kind of fell into that niche, but
Yes.
it wasn't really what I loved.
And I enjoy the job. I started with the firm I'm at. It's been 10 years now, actually. This is July is my anniversary month
Really? Wow,
for my
good for
10th
you.
anniversary, scary enough. And it was the industry that I loved and I enjoy. I go geeky when it comes to numbers. So,
I'm kind of that way too.
yeah. And for you guys, I'm thinking the one for your children is take the trip of your dreams. Go crazy. After obviously you pay off all your credit card debt.
Sure.
Is to take the trip of your dreams.
Well, the interesting thing for us is, when my daughter graduates high school, we're going to be empty nesters. And we were just talking about that, how we could be very similar to when we were honeymooners and didn't have to worry about scheduling.
Yes.
We could kind of take vacations whenever we wanted.
And I would think that's what you would want to do more in your 50s, early 60s, because then you can really take the vacation of your dreams and actually afford it and afford the hotel room that you actually desire.
And also go at a point where not everyone else is going, so it's less busy.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, for your 30s, you want to become confident in investing. Get life insurance. Pay off your student loans. Maybe get parents' assistance in that one. Max out your retirement contributions and give to charity.
So max out your retirement, not your credit cards.
Exactly.
I get that right order. Okay.
Let's switch it out. And definitely take the especially now life insurance I wouldn't get unless I had children. If I was single, I'd be great. Let's pay off all the student loans that you possibly can. But once you do have children, I think we got life insurance right before I had my first child. Is get life insurance.
And because you were young, it's very inexpensive.
Oh my God!
And
yes.
also being a woman,
Almost free.
Almost free.
I actually get a check in the mail every month. Yes, exactly. And it is take the opportunity when you are young, or when you think you are planning on having a child a little further on in life. Maybe take the opportunity now because you can lock in great rates.
Well, plus the other part is you lock in your health.
Yes.
Because a lot of people, like I've had situations where someone came to me and afterward they said, "Gosh, turns out that we couldn't even get him insurance. He was uninsurable because he had some kind of kidney problems or really severe heart issue, and no insurance company would take them. And it's really sad when you have to kind of face, oh my gosh, I can't even get it no matter at what price I want.
Yes. And going in, this one's the 40s, it's kind of a take on life insurance is either long-term care insurance or long-term disability insurance. Again, get it while you can, while it's early. Maybe I've actually tried myself to get it, and they said, no, you're too young. You're almost too young
for
long-term care.
Yeah, because the disability, the way the disability insurance works, now you being a CPA, that'd be easy to get. But certain professions, working in the fireworks industry or something like that is going to be almost impossible, or it'd be cost prohibitive. But there's another thing, like when I used to specialize with dentists, and we used to give them what I used to call the Rolls Royce of insurance, because this thing was it was awesome. And it was actually so good that when the recession hit again, as they always do, sometimes some of these guys, they'd hurt themselves a little bit, and they claimed insurance, the disability insurance, and they're still on claims. And so what ended up happening was the insurance industry said, well, wait a minute, you know what? Being a dentist isn't the most dangerous job in the world, but it's all based on claims. And they stopped writing policies.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, or they severely limited them. Yeah,
yes.
like no back issues.
Oh, really?
No psychological issues. So you got to be hit by a truck or something like that.
Yes, something where there's a
psychological issues when you're a dentist.
Well, yeah, you know why? It's true because you're giving pain to people. Yeah, that had to see it.
I actually heard that there's I think that's what I've heard. I don't know where
funny.
CPAs lie, but I do think we're a little lower.
Have you ever
than
seen
dentists.
Marathon Man?
Is it safe?
Yeah.
Dustin Hoffman, Marathon Man.
In your 40s, open a 529 plan. Now, I think that's something you should try to do in your 30s, but
yeah. What would you say? That was in your 40s?
This is when you're in your 40s. Do a comprehensive health check. Mentor a young person. I like that idea. I like some of these things. Make a will. Very important to do for your financial health.
Wait. The mentoring a young person, but make sure that person puts you in their will.
Okay.
We're talking financial here.
Come on now. Well, your financial health, I imagine, what they say, it's a domino effect. Wherever you're healthy in one aspect of your life, it often follows. So I imagine doing good like that and mentoring somebody who's going into the same profession or has a like interest.
Yeah. But wait, why do you think Mark and I invest in our kids' college education? So that they can take care of us.
So they don't feed off of you when you're in your 50s and 60s.
And provide for me. My daughter's already picked out my wheelchair, she told me.
Second. Number 5, take care of your parents.
There you see. There you go.
In your 40s?
These are your 40s. Well,
it depends on how old your parents are.
I guess so.
And what shape they're in. I know my wife, asked me, she wanted me to stay in shape. I said, I am round. It's a shape.
It counts, right?
Yeah.
Actually, one of the most popular shapes, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So what's next? 5 things to do in your 50s?
50s. Here we go.
Okay.
Chart your course. You guys were in your 50s. You're about halfway through. You've done a lot. You've done a lot of planning.
Halfway through of working or halfway through of death?
Halfway through of working. You got a lot more left to do. A lot of fun things to do in the rest of your life because at that point your kids are almost out of the house.
Yeah.
You get you don't have to pay that college tuition. Some people pay private high school. I had somebody tell me they pay private kindergarten tuition that runs almost $40,000 a year.
That's true. No, I mean it amazes me, but I'm not surprised. But
exactly, especially in this area.
But back up for just a minute though. You said about halfway done if we're in our 50s.
Halfway done with life.
Of your career.
No, a career.
Your career.
Yeah. So
well, if you think about it.
If you started at 25 and you're 50.
Oh, God.
Then you're going to work. You're not going to make me work till I'm 75, are you? Kathryn, come on, give me a break.
All right,
a lot of us
you're past the halfway mark.
Okay,
All right.
good.
Sorry, I didn't think.
Of course, she has my wife, and she says you're not even close to being retired. Okay. She doesn't want me at home.
But yeah, you're taking that final lap. You're almost there. Where you're about to quit for your retire for.
She's metaphors.
I just remember the laps in high school where they were a mile was 4 laps. So you're coming on that last quarter
already.
I'm depressed now.
This is just of your career. Remember, there was 25 years before you started your career, which means there's going to be 25 years after your career that you get to have some fun with.
I know. I keep hearing.
I feel like I should
I'm on the last leg.
All right, just keep. I know. Assess your retirement income. Pay off your mortgage.
Her voice just
I'm
went
just
down.
I'm over the article.
I'm sorry. You know what? I think if Mark and I were in our 20s, we'd probably be going, okay, this
Yeah,
is really
that's
good
great.
stuff.
That's a great.
Yeah.
Well,
Actually, it is
my
really
last
good
question
stuff.
is now think of where you are and where are you in this scheme of 5 things to do in the decade in which you are? How many can you
find
check
a
off?
young trophy wife and then start a new
And
family.
make sure
right?
my kids are ready for me. Yes.
That's right.
And invest in your home, pay off your mortgage. I think that's just kind of and that's I think planning. I think that's good planning so that you have a lot of fun, especially in those 50s and those 60s. I think those are great periods of life where you are working, you're not touching into your retirement.
Yeah.
It is in your future, but you are healthy because you did your health check,
Yeah.
and you can go travel the world.
Well, I think that paying off the mortgage is good, just even from the psychological edge. You know, so even if you have a decent interest rate, you know, everyone's going, oh, I should borrow my house to invest in a higher interest rate and play arbitrage and all this kind of stuff. It's like, yeah, maybe you can make money, but you know, you don't want to really have to write that check every month if you don't have to. There's just something in the solace of it.
Yes.
Of it all. Okay, tell you what, I'm waiting for the.
There is one more, but
There's
I'm
no more?
gonna just
What
say
about when I'm 100?
there-
From
hold
100 to 110.
They decided to put the 60s and beyond in one.
60s and beyond.
60s and beyond. I could see maybe 80s and
It's like
beyond.
let years and beyond. There you go.
It's when you're 85, you start a new profession, go back to school, and start all over again. Keep you young. Okay, so speaking of young, here is our first trivia question. Today's theme again is kids' toys. Got to turn the page for this one. What kid's toy, originally invented in 1913, uses various steel brackets and nuts and bolts, and is still sold today? Personally, I think it's a little dangerous nowadays with the all the safety features that they have on kids' toys, but that's the question. And we want you to call 888-912-1190 to answer this question. What kid's toy, originally invented in 1913, uses various steel brackets and nuts and bolts, and is still sold today? And I actually had one when I was a kid, so I know that this is true. All right, stay with us. You're listening to The Best of Investing with Edward Brown, Mark Hahn, and Kathryn Harris. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back. Okay. That was fun. That was fun. All right.
Look, see there, start crossing things off your bucket list.
Bucket
We
list.
should revise it so it's off your fun list.
Yeah.
I don't have a bucket list, should I?
I don't really have.
That wasn't on there.
I'm actually going to
Why
kick
wasn't
a bucket. And that's going to be my, Did I kick the bucket? Yeah, I kicked the bucket. By my choice, I did.
Yeah.
So it would help if I put this in, wouldn't it? Would that help?
You're beyond help. Does it go to 60?
So it goes 60. There's
Does it go
60 and beyond.
So
Does
you
it go
want to
70?
know?
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Sure.
Look after your loved ones. Create a new budget for your post-retirement life. Cross the thing off your bucket list. Review your Social Security benefits. Invest in causes you feel strongly about.
Me. That's what I feel.
That's right.
Yes, you do.
And that's 60 and beyond.
I'm my favorite.
That's a nice way to put it.
It makes me happy. I give you
Yeah.
the person who gets it, the beneficiary, is very happy as well.
My bucket list was film Best of Investing.
There you go.
Okay.
Like
That
that.
was my bucket list.
Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
Sure.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Welcome back to The Best of Investing. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Mark Hahn and Kathryn Harris, CPA. Always have to add that CPA. Makes us all look
I
smart.
worked very hard
Yeah,
for it.
yes, you did. Okay, here was our first trivia question. The commercial was kids' toys, which, by the way, before we do that, when you said that you had this article that said 60s and beyond,
Yes.
is that what Buzz Lightyear said? 260 and beyond!
Yes, that's it.
Okay.
There was a type. I think it was light. What was it?
Buzz Lightyear.
No, but what was
Infinity
it?
and beyond.
Infinity and beyond.
Yeah,
But
well,
no,
I
I
ain't
think it
working
was
until
correct.
infinity.
No.
Okay, what kid's toy was originally invented in 1913, uses various steel brackets and nuts and bolts, and is still sold today? Kathryn, you know the answer?
Not at all.
The erector set.
The erectors.
Can I say erector on the radio?
I know.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
It's a clean show. It's a clean thing. But
That is the proper answer.
I'll probably have about 3 or 4 cuts from that. Those things were sharp. I
Yeah,
remember
they
that.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. No, I've never
Now
actually seen it.
they're all probably all rubber and stuff now.
Yes.
Okay, so before we get back to what we're talking about, just want to give you guys, there's another special trivia question contest that we're having next week where the winner is going to get a stay at the Hope Merrill House Bed and Breakfast in Geyserville. Now, I've never been to Geyserville, but this place is called the Hope Merrill House, and it's in northern Sonoma County. It's, let's see, what do they got here? Today it's a delightful bed and breakfast inn, and you'll be surrounded. What will you be surrounded? I'm trying to read this thing here. Okay, it says the home is inviting, and the little extra touches of hospitality are unmatched. Enjoy a glass of wine in the veranda, in the parlor, or out by the pool, and it brings your day to a quiet end. In the morning, you'll be surrounded by the sounds and scents of home-cooked country breakfast. I like that. And let's see, you can also spend the day downtown without ever getting in your car. So I guess you can walk to everything and take a return trip home for a dip in the 40-foot lap pool.
Do they have a geyser in the backyard?
Yeah, maybe for being in Geyserville, yes. Well, no, but get this, you get to create your own label for 2 cases of your very own bottle of wine.
Cool.
Yeah, your
That's a
own
nice
blend.
gift.
That's pretty cool.
Your execution of that makes me very relaxed.
There
It
you
sounds
go.
like such a lovely place
Well,
to go.
detailed information about the package and about the inn is available at the website, which is www.hope-inns.com. Now, here's the special contest question. Almost a third of us haven't done this in the past 5 years. What? Now, here are the rules. You need to email edward@bestofinvesting.com the answer by midnight tonight. And from among the correct answers, we're going to announce the winner. We'll pick randomly and announce it next week.
I almost blurted out a guess, but
No, don't blurt out
decided
anything yet.
not to.
Okay. So,
Call it in.
so Mark, I tell you what, let me get right into an email that we received for you. It says here, do you ever purchase existing loans for your portfolio, or do you only originate loans?
Well, let me just back up a second, and for those who might be listening for the first time, my name is Mark Hanf. I'm broker and president for a company called Pacific Private Money Loans. We're based in Northern California, and we make basically hard money, or also called private money, loans to real estate investors and consumers who can't get a bank loan. Sometimes it's because they need a loan quickly, or maybe they fell out of bank financing, or maybe they're a contractor or a real estate flipper and they've got hammered credit, but they've got experience. And we make loans basically that the banks don't make. And so the question was, do we originate our own loans, meaning, people call us up on the phone and we get a loan application, we decide whether we're going to fund it, and then if we do decide to fund it, we go to our investor base or our mortgage pool fund and put the capital together and fund that loan. That's pretty much how we do most of our lending. So do we buy notes from others? There are people in the private money mortgage business who do that buying and selling of notes is actually quite common. In fact, that is really the argument for or against the claim that some people are afraid of when it comes to note investing, and that is, well, they're not liquid. And there actually are ways to
Cash in
on a real estate secured note if you happen to invest in a real estate secured note. There are ways to get out of it because there are actually internet-based websites where you can go that you can post a loan for sale, or there are some brokers that post their funding opportunities online. So you can as a business model, if we chose to, if we had a surplus of capital and the phone stopped ringing and we weren't getting loan applications, we could go out and buy loans. Or if we had a lot of loans and we wanted to create more capital to generate some fee income, because we charge points and fees when we do a loan, then we could actually sell a loan out of our portfolio to a private investor or to a company. In fact, we get approached quite regularly from companies looking to increase their particular portfolio of loans. So we do get inquiries quite frequently to want to buy our loans.
What kind of yield are they looking for now?
Well, some are looking for 8 and 9%, others are looking for 10, 11, and 12. It really depends on where they're from and what they're accustomed to, because the private money / hard money lending industry varies from state to state. So, and in fact,
And within the state.
and within the
Said it
state,
too.
right?
Yeah,
I've said it before, where the San Francisco Bay Area actually has the least expensive. I won't say cheapest because that's almost an insult. When you can get a bank mortgage for 4%, but pay 8, 9, or 10% for a private money / hard money loan. That's you can never call that cheap. But we had the least expensive private money in the Bay Area. In Southern California, it's oftentimes about a full percentage point more. And in other states, 12, 14, even 16% is not that unusual. Now, oftentimes the loans are much smaller. So maybe on a hard money loan to buy a house in the Midwest states could be $30,000, $40,000, and so paying 16 to 18%. That's people in the Bay Area have credit card balances that are higher than that, right? So and they're paying what 22 to sometimes 28% on that. So really, it's all relative. But in the Bay Area, our average loan prices are obviously $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 to $1 million.
Well, there was one point you mentioned that I wanted to just kind of clarify. You said that you're doing some loans that, banks don't do, and actually, I would ask you a question as is
or
it
clarify that.
Yeah, clarify, yeah, because it's not as much that they don't do it, but in some cases they
can't do it, right. So thank you for allowing me to clarify that. So when I say that companies like Pacific Private Money make loans that the banks won't do, it really is more that they can't do.
By federal regulation sometimes.
By federal regulation, or because the borrower needs it quickly.
Yeah.
So they can't. I mean, no bank that I know of will close a loan in 7 days, and we do it all the time.
Well, they can't because they have to get their own appraisal.
Well, exactly.
So,
they have their own standards that they have that they're required to follow internally, and I think that's something that's important to Mark's for your business is that you go beyond the numbers, and you often say if you don't know, have them give you a call, because for most of the time you want to hear the backstory, because backstory does mean something to you. You can't just say, you're not saying yes or no because somebody doesn't hit a certain ratio.
Correct.
Specifically, you guys usually take into consideration more of the person behind the money and the story behind the money. I think that's very valid.
It is. We are like the old-fashioned banker from 50 years ago. We're all about the story. When someone walks in or calls or emails to present a loan scenario to us, here's my situation, can you make me a loan? We look at all kinds of variables. We're looking at the borrower. We're actually talking to the borrower because we want to see what he sounds like, because some people just are scary. And
well, he's more like George in It's a Wonderful Life. Remember James Stewart?
Yes.
You're not like Mr. Potter. You're more like James Stewart. And we just walk in, just kind of tell the story, explain why it's a.
We take the measure of the borrower. We look at the property. We look at the story. What's the exit strategy? Why do you need the money, and how are you going to pay us back? And most of our loans are short term. We're not really out there making long-term loans at 10% because, quite frankly, most people don't. They can't afford to hold a mortgage that long.
Well, or eventually they will qualify, right? Because a lot of times, the banks are not allowing people to buy a new house if they haven't sold an old one yet, because they don't qualify with the debt-to-income ratio for both houses.
Exactly, and I think that's where you were saying it, Mark, is that you guys usually you provide a great short-term resolution to a lot of borrowers who are in a crunch.
Well, our three things we like to say: fast, friendly, and reliable. That's true, and that's really what our niche is. We're fast, and yes, we are friendly, and that's something that's a real change.
You got to come up with one more F though.
And the reliable, fast, friendly, and reliable. The reliable part is
next week.
Reliable. The reliable part is if we say yes, we'll fund it, and we've got
there you go, and fund it.
And at the price we quote too. That's the other thing. So.
And in fact, you just came out with a shareholder newsletter.
Newsletter, yeah, monthly
and your
newsletter.
rate was actually higher for us, the clients. I get to say us because I'm part of it, where I've got some of my investments with Mark. What was the yield? It was like 8.12.
So the Pacific Private Money Fund right now, year to date, is paying on a monthly basis at an annualized rate of 8.12. And for those who are who invested like through their IRA and are letting it compound, they're at 8.25 year to date through the first 5 months of the year. Those who've been with us since the beginning are actually a little bit higher, so that's.
I don't know. It's not high enough for me.
You could go. I just drove past the bank and it was 2% for a CD for 72 months.
72 months.
So
yeah,
you can
really.
compare.
Oh my gosh, it'll take them. It'll take them the
A
first
very
4
long
years
time.
just to match what you can do in 1 year.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And your loan to value. The same thing. Here's the other thing: is people, listening might go, "Well, 8%. Yeah, but he's
They must
probably
be
doing
making
like
risky loans.
or 100% financing. Something. But
Yes.
your average loan to value is what? Still under 60%.
Yeah, it's 52% right now. The
52%
portfolio.
loan to value.
oh my God.
In fact, okay, let's sit right now and let's pray that all the borrowers default, because then we'll all make lots of money.
Yes. That rate of return will go a little higher.
Yeah, just quite
Well, let me
higher.
ask. Can I actually ask one question? I think
Sure.
that
Before we
a
get to break,
potential
go
borrower
ahead.
would go is where is the especially with where is the property? Is it concentrated in Marin, San Francisco? Is it East Bay? I'd be interested in that. If I
Yeah,
was,
good point.
if somebody
That's right.
might be a little bit more on the conservative side and nervous about, because when the last economy, when the
Yeah.
recession hit, they definitely had a more substantial impact on the
Yeah, there's certain areas that hit harder.
the
than
counties
others,
that were a
yeah.
little further out. So I'd be interested to know that if you know that
So
information.
we primarily lend in Northern California, but we do have some regional diversification in the fund. So right now we've got, for example, 45 loans in the fund for a total of about $8.5 million. And we've got loans in Southern California. The preponderance are in Northern California, but we also have a few out of state. So we do believe in some regional diversification, and we've got a diversification of loan types. We've got mostly single-family residences, but we also have multifamily and some small commercial. So, and again, most of these loans, we only have one loan in the portfolio that's longer than that's a 3-year term. Most of them are 12-month terms, 18-month terms. Some are going to be paid off in 3, 4, 5 months. So we really, we utilize the fund to make loans that to people who need money fast, need it for a short term. Banks don't like making short-term loans either, unless it's a line of credit that you have on your house.
Yeah.
Try interesting a bank in a loan that, hey, I only need it for 90 days. Well, it's going to take 90 days to get an approval.
Yeah, they don't want to go through that brain.
That's
power.
actually a great
That's a
kind
good
of
point.
option for a lot of people who are interested, who need that cash, who may have a home, who have a bit of equity in it, and the banks are giving them a little too much of a pushback.
Yeah, and the thing is, Mark doesn't mind making short-term loans if he's going to charge a couple of points. Then it's like, sure, pay me back in 2 days if you want.
Right? No, that's exactly right. And the fund is designed to benefit from that. So the fund shares in those origination points. It gets all the note rate.
And the regional, the regional part. How far east do you go generally? What's your furthest loan? Because most of the loans are in California, but you've done a couple that have been outside.
We do. We have some actually in Michigan and Minnesota. We work
okay.
with a company, and actually, technically speaking, that's where the collateral is. Although this is to a company that has a unique business model of buying homes out of foreclosure and selling them back to the homeowner that's lived in there for a number of years. And so that's actually
I
great
like that
program.
model actually, because those people are less likely to default again. They're going to take care of the property.
Right. These are and they have they specifically target people who have 2 incomes and have money to purchase back their home and a state of desire to stay.
Well,
there.
here's a simple question: how many loans have defaulted so far?
So we've foreclosed on only 2 out of over 1,000 loans we've originated since 2008. Now we've had to file those of default on probably close to maybe 20, but the other 18 have all paid off. So or brought the loan current.
And I was going to say, but of those 2 that you said you've had to go all the way through with a foreclosure, did the fund lose money?
No, those actually weren't fund loans. Those are actually individuals. And
Oh,
in fact, I had lunch with one of the individuals who foreclosed on a 4-plex in Sacramento, and he's happy.
Yes, I was like,
very
can
happy.
we do that again, please?
Yeah, can we do that again? Yeah.
Okay. Before we get to our break, how do people get hold of you?
Right. So if you want more information about either borrowing money, short term, mid-term, even long term, and you're not getting any traction with your bank, or if you're interested in learning how you too could earn 8% or more on your savings and retirement accounts, give us a call at Pacific Private Money at 415-883-2150, or please do visit our website. That's pacificprivatemoney.com.
All right, we're going to cut to our second commercial break here. Again, the theme is kids' toys. In 1963, this board game, which uses a Rube Goldberg-style contraption which gets continually built during the game and attempts to trap an opponent. Which game is that? Call 888-912-1190. That's 888-912-1190 to answer this question. In 1963, which board game uses a Rube Goldberg-style type contraption which gets continually built during the game and attempts to trap an opponent? All right, stay with us. You're listening to The Best of Investing. We'll be right back. That was a long segment. It was good.
Mm-hmm.
That was long. I think we'll have a hard breaks on that.
Yeah.
What do you mean hard break?
Remember last week we said we're gonna go ahead.
What was that?
Last week we decided go ahead and air it.
Oh.
Air,
right.
go ahead and air it because I was cutting it. See if they
Oh.
catch me. They haven't caught me in a while, so
I love that.
let's see if they get me.
Oh, with the book?
Spank my hand. Oh, you're not supposed to do any advertisement on public access.
Well, I'm not advertising. I just happen to have a book that just happens to be
Oh, I
leaning
just
against
happen
this
to-
thing here.
It just
I-
happens to be right
what book?
there.
What book?
Do we? I mean, you still have the book for sale. Maybe we can mention that in the third.
Well, they can go to the website. and click on the link.
Okay. All right. And Kathryn, I'll go to your question. And then we'll kind of go and have some fun.
Yeah.
Welcome back to The Best of Investing. Again, I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Mark On and Kathryn Harris, CPA. When we cut to the second commercial break, we asked this trivia question about kids' toys. In 1963, this board game uses a Rube Goldberg-style contraption which gets continually built during the game and attempts to trap an opponent. What board game would that be?
You're stumping me again.
Again?
I should remember that, but I don't.
Mousetrap.
Oh, that's
Do you remember that? You have to keep building on top of it.
Oh,
So you
yes,
get to know what a
yes.
Rube Goldberg-style type contraption
Yes.
is. Yeah, I gotta ask you though.
I'm such a rube.
You're such a Rube. Again, and the next question is going to be going back in time too. So, I'm sorry. I should have
The
asked.
mousetrap, it's still in
It's still
existence.
in
It's
existence.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I remember playing as a kid.
Oh, it's great. Hey, by the way, before we ask you your trivia question,
Sure.
you know that the Hornblower is having a blast on 4th of July? You can choose from a beer lunch cruise. God, I love that. And with free flowing beer and champagne.
Beer lunch?
Yeah,
More
yeah,
lunch?
Yes,
yes.
yeah, that's all you get. It's just beer.
Hops and cokes?
Yeah.
No, you got a lot more than that. A premier dinner cruise with 4 courses, or a San Francisco Belle dinner cruise that boasts a hosted bar. Enjoy an amazing American fare classic with fabulous drink. Skip the crowds this year and celebrate the US of A on the water underneath the fireworks. That's a great idea.
It is.
That's a great time to do 4th of July, right on the water on the Hornblower.
And you can actually see 3 fireworks
Exactly.
displays when you're on the bay. It's fantastic, and you don't get that very often. I can't think of any other place.
No, so check them out. Go to visit hornblower.com. That's a nice, easy website. Or call 1-888-HORNBLOWER. So, yeah, no, I got to call them and see what we can do for getting the best of investing on 4th of July.
Yes.
That'd be a good place to go. Kathryn, we have an email we received for you that says, do you consider the CPA to be the captain of the team? And in other words, do you consult with attorneys and financial advisors and kind of bring them all together?
My favorite answer to most questions are, it depends.
Sounds like an attorney. Go ahead.
I'm married to an attorney, so it rubs off. But yes, we do. We can offer that. You know, when I meet with a client, our first initial meeting is really kind of get a sense of what our client expects and needs from us. Some of our clients, well, let me step back a little bit. I'm Kathryn Harris, but CPA. With Pride and Crowd CPAs, we're a full-service accounting firm. We do tax service for individuals, businesses, nonprofits. We do bookkeeping and financial statement preparation and the test work as well. So when a client comes in, we will assess what is their desired need from the firm. And that is whether they just need a simple preparation of their tax return and they feel comfortable in other areas of their lives. Oftentimes when we are meeting that first time, we do ask questions about their family and the dynamics of their family and where they are in their career and retirement planning.
Well,
And
let me interrupt for a second. That's
Sure.
really interesting because a lot of times people go strictly to their financial advisor and ask those questions, but it's kind of neat to go to the CPA because you always kind of elevate them a little bit more and think of them a lot more objectively. So I think that's actually a great place to
Yeah.
start with the CPA.
definitely. And I think, and we don't go, we will and say, hey, if you don't have life insurance and you have a child, you need to go get life insurance. Hey, it's about, you've got a home and in your 40s, you should start thinking about getting a trust or a will. And we definitely then work and can provide recommendations for attorneys that we have worked with and financial advisors that we work with. And then if we can, depending on the level of their need, is more managing of that triangular relationship. Those attorneys, a tax preparer, your CPA, and your investment advisor should work together. Oftentimes they don't, and that's really kind of comes to a client to push for that. I was just on the phone with our client and saying I would be happy to meet with you because I can't tell. He was looking to pay off the mortgage of his home. I'm like, I can't tell you if that's a good idea or if you should take money out of your IRA. I don't know your entire financial picture. I'm happy to sit with you and tell you what, if you were to do one thing, what would be the tax implications, but I do need to have your financial advisor there, or you need to give me more of your picture.
Yeah,
So that's a good point because, answering the question, should I or shouldn't I pay off my home mortgage, as an example, can't be made. Your advice can't be made in a vacuum.
No,
good
it can't.
point.
Just, and very much, I think I really do. We think we do as well. Is there's more to it than just that one question.
And
There's
how
a
many
huge
times does
backstory.
financial advisor try to play accountant by or doesn't know enough about the tax implications?
They do, and you hope when you talk with a financial advisor, is oftentimes they should say, "Hey, do you have a CPA?" I'm not trying to push people my way, but you do
Of course
want to
you
have.
are.
It's more for it's for the care of the client. I want the best for the client, and I'm upfront with some people who are they are W2s. They have a house. They're in their 20s, 30s. I was like, I can do this for you, and I'm happy to tell you the 3 things that I can recommend. But that's pretty much your course for the next 15 years. I'm happy to be here for you to answer any of your questions, but there's not much more I can give of value that is of repeated value on a day-to-day, on an annual basis. But as you get to those 40s, 50s, you do need to have a bit more active participation to plan for the fun years. That's what I'm going to say.
Plan for the fun years.
I like that.
Yes, that's what
So, Kathryn, sounds like a good idea for people to at least meet with you, maybe even the first time, to just kind of get an assessment of what's going on, and then you can kind of steer them in the right direction.
Definitely, and we love meeting face to face. I think it's an important thing, and I don't think a lot of people nowadays seem to enjoy having. Let's interview you on the phone. No, let's meet you in person. I prefer that actually.
Okay.
But I can be reached at 415-461-8500.
Very good.
Thank you.
Kathryn here, CPA of Parati and Karat. Tell you what, we're going to cut to a third quick break here. When we come back, we'll get into more good stuff. Mark, you still have your book that is still active on Amazon. People can explain, what that book's about and how people can get a hold of it. How much is it selling for?
99 cents.
Too
still.
much?
We never changed the Kindle price. It's a little bit more if you want to get the paperback version, but a lot of people like the Kindle version now. 99 cents. It's almost free.
Almost free, yeah. For 99 cents, it is almost free. Okay, the theme is kids' toys. In 1965, which game is similar to pickup sticks? If you remember that, but uses a specific animal instead that gets linked together. Okay, it's only one type of animal gets linked together with another one of its kind, and that's how it's similar to pickup sticks. Okay, call 888-912-1190. I'm asking these kind of weird, hard questions, but that's okay. That's 888-912-1190 to answer this question. Kids' toys. In 1965, which game, similar to the game Pickup Sticks, if you remember that one, but it uses a specific animal instead that gets linked together? All right? Stay with us. You're listening to The Best of Investing. We'll have some closing comments when we come back. You know that one?
I'm thinking Monkey Tails.
Tails. Okay.
Something, but it wasn't called that. But I'm imagining the thing with the hook and
Yes.
You're getting
you build
close.
the thing. And first I'm thinking caterpillar, earthworm, and
Yeah.
earthworm game. And I remember all these little weird
Yeah.
games with the. But I remember the tails.
Would it help if I told you I used to like the game.
No, not at all.
Not.
See, Kathryn's too good. She doesn't shamelessly promote herself. We do it for her.
Shamelessly.
I brought an art, which
Okay.
the other article, which I thought would be for someone like this is something I had a hard time with, but I thought you guys would enjoy these. Is the 8 most misunderstood refinancing terms. And
Oh,
I challenge you guys
Okay.
on.
Sure.
Please
that'd be good.
educate me, who
Yeah.
just bought a home, when they said this thing called points. And I'm really smart at reading financial documents. I read enough contracts in
Sure,
my life to know
sure.
a lot, but one thing that was a voodoo to me was points, and so
Okay. Well,
Good.
I don't know if you have enough to what we
Sure.
have, but
Yeah.
Let me
if
see how
we
much time
need
we have
some.
here. Okay. So
Gotta do the math.
I
He needs a moment of silence.
yes. And you take off my shoes and socks for this one. Okay. Carry the 8.
Yeah.
Let's see. I did that last time. I was a full minute off last time.
Oh.
Well, you got a
Okay,
CPA in here, why don't you get some help? Are you beyond help?
You were a minute
I am beyond.
over or under?
He had to, let's put it this way, he had to cut the music and the
Oh, okay.
intro really short.
Over.
I mean, that's why I leave a few extra seconds in case okay, so that was 6:20, that would be there 6:53, okay? Yeah,
6 minutes.
6, almost 7. 6:60. Yeah,
Really? Are you
we had
sure about that?
Yeah, we had a really long one, because the first one was 12 and a half, then 16 and a half,
Oh wow.
and then almost 8,
Okay.
and so,
Oh wow.
Okay.
yeah, it was kind of long. Okay.
We'll just just have a good
I'll
pace
pick up
with
some.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, if we have to, we can get
I'm
through.
gonna pick the 2 or 3 that I need help with.
Okay.
Well,
And you guys
can
can
do.
educate me.
Well, you can do 8. It's mortgage balance, cash out. Okay.
Ready? There we go. Welcome back to the Best of Investing. Last time for today, I'm Edward Brown, your host. Of course, I'll be Edward Brown all day today, but this is the last segment. So,
Unless
Edward
you go
Brown
to
here.
Starbucks.
Oh yeah, there you go. Okay. Along with Mark Hunt and Kathryn here, CPA. Third final trivia question. In 1965, which kids game, is similar to pickup sticks but uses a specific animal instead that gets linked together? Mark.
I couldn't remember. I was remembering something about like curled plastic monkey tails or something that linked together.
Yes, but what was the name? Barrel of monkeys.
Barrel of monkeys.
Okay,
Oh.
so you got the right animal, monkeys. Okay, Kathryn, you got some refinancing terms you want us to talk about.
You know, I pride myself on my ability to read contracts. I can read mortgage contracts. I can read refinancing. I read partnership.
I can read coloring books very
I can
well.
do that.
So you
I
think
do-
of
I do
yourself
that.
as a smart person.
I find myself to be smart.
Okay.
I think that. I think that when I go to bed at night. I read partnerships agreements. I read enough.
Okay.
But I found myself, my husband and I were lucky enough to buy our first home. There were a few refinancing terms that boggled my mind. And I found this article today that said the 8 most misunderstood refinancing terms. It made me feel a little bit better because obviously if I misunderstood them, I'm happy to hear that others were misunderstanding them. So
That's a
since
good
you
point.
two are very, very well in depth into this area,
Yep.
I thought you'd enjoy telling me and the listeners,
Okay.
educating us a bit about this.
Got it.
The 2 that I'm gonna go focus on are the first 2 that are the ones that confuse me more than anything. One is origination charge. Would anyone like to?
You mean like just points?
Well, the other one was points, and that's where I get more confused is because I would think that points and origination charge are very, very similar, if not the same thing.
They are. Points are part of origination charges. So a
Yeah.
point is just
Percent?
1 point is 1%. So
Okay.
points mean percent, and
Yes.
so 4 points on a loan means you're paying 4% of the loan amount as a fee. So points are fees, and it's an origination, and it's an origination charge. So points are an origination charge.
But there might be other things that are part
Are
of the
part of-
origination.
There are also other things.
doc
So,
fees.
right. So you've heard of junk fees.
Yeah.
Those are usually like processing fees or administrative
Yeah.
fee or underwriting fee. Those are known as soft fees or junk fees in the industry. So those are also part of origination charges.
And so when they talk about points and they say you can add another point to it sounds like you can pay it, you can front load and put a point at the beginning and pay less in interest later. Is that
Well, usually.
Yes. It's called buying down
Buying
your
down,
rate.
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And what does that usually mean? in detail?
So, and again, with all the new mortgage regulations, I'm not sure even how how common this is because we don't have Rob Spinoza here to chime in on this. But it's fairly common. Let's say you get quoted a rate of 4% and no points, meaning you don't get an origination charge of a point, again, of the 1%. Each point equals 1%. You can buy down the rate by, if I pay a point, I can buy down the rate from 4 to maybe 3 7/8. Or
Okay.
so the interest rate, you can buy down the interest rate that you'll pay over that. If you think you're going to keep the loan for a long time, or maybe all of 30 years, it might make sense for you to pay a point, 1% or even maybe 2 points up front because you're going to get savings over time.
At some point, you're going to have to. Yeah.
There's a break-even
It
point
is.
at
Thank
some
you.
point.
There is a break-even point.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it might be 5 or 7 years. You have to do the calculation.
We got a couple more minutes. Go ahead.
Sure. So the other ones I'm a bit more familiar with, but they are the most misunderstood refinancing terms. The other is, first one was mortgage balance, and they're saying this is the amount that the full amount owed at any specific time. So that's your debt today.
Yeah, and if you have a 30-year mortgage, it goes down every time you pay because some goes to principal.
Exactly.
Okay.
Cash out. Cash out is says to capitalize on the equity you've built into your home. You can take out some for yourself as cash payment when you close on your refinance.
Okay. So if you bought a house for $1 million and you put down $300,000, you borrowed $700,000, and now the property's worth $10 million, but you only owe $700,000. You go, well, I want a new loan of $5 million.
Yes.
Well, you've done a cash out refi because you're going to get a whole bunch of cash out, right, Mark?
Yep.
Okay, good.
This one we hear about often on the show is LTV. Well, this one says LTV limit. LTV is loan to value, which we often all hear about on the show, and limit. And I think that's why people will have to go to private financing is they're oftentimes for banks they put a loan to value limit on how much they're interested in providing financing for.
Yeah.
I know some put it to 20%. Some are starting to come down to 15 to 10. Oftentimes,
The funny thing is banks a lot of times will do a higher loan to value than Mark will. Mark's because
Yes.
loans are more conservative.
Right.
Yeah.
When you hear the traditional 20% down, that means you're borrowing 80%. So the LTV, your loan to value, is 80%. So loan to value or LTV is always expressed as a percentage of the purchase price or market value of the house.
Fourth was the mortgage insurance, and this one I was actually, I remember, surprised during my closing to see. I just did, and this one was, it helps keep peace of mind of your lender because you'll be paying the premiums and they are the beneficiary.
Yeah. So and some
For a borrower, that's the biggest waste of money.
Yeah,
is
but then
mortgage
sometimes they
insurance.
require it if you put so little down.
Yes.
And that's the main thing. Okay. Next time we'll cover some more of those. Okay.
Sure.
All right.
You helped me. Thank you, guys.
Okay,
Answer my
absolutely.
question. Thank you.
Okay, here's our thoughts for the day. If you want to have ho-hum results, have ho-hum objectives. And through perseverance, many people will win success out of what seemed destined to be certain failure. Benjamin Franklin said that. Not bad. Good old Ben. We have the same birthday.
Still applicable.
Okay. Tune in next week to The Best of Investing. We're going to be giving away 9 more free vacations for answering trivia questions. Thanks for listening. On behalf of our team, I'm Edward Brown. We're wishing you the best of investing. So long. Good. Excellent, Tito. Excellent.
So how was your date night, guys?